Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on Newsx. Let's get started with our big focus this hour. Close to 150 MPs in the Lok Sabha and around 100 lawmakers in the Rajya Sabha have submitted separate notices to the presiding officers of both the houses seeking impeachment of Allahabad High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Varma, from whose residence burnt wads of currency notes were found. A multi-party delegation submitted the notice bearing the signatures of 145 Lok Sabha MPs for the removal of Justice Varma under Articles 124, 217 and 218 of the Constitution to the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, while a separate notice was handed over to Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar by 63 opposition lawmakers of the upper house. Apart from the 63 signatures submitted by the opposition, BJP MPs too have submitted over 40 signatures in support of the motion, taking the total signatures in the Rajya Sabha across 100. This is the sixth time impeachment proceedings have reached this advanced stage for a sitting judge in the higher judiciaries of the country. While the previous 5 attempts have failed due to judges resigning before proceedings could come to a conclusion, or due to the motions failing to gain the tough requirements of special majorities, this attempt is seeking to mark the first instance of a sitting judge being removed in independent India. Joining us for a conversation on the subject now is Mukul Rohatgi, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court of India. Mukul Rohatgi, welcome. Thank you for being with us on Newsx. What is the process for Justice Varma's impeachment, sir?
So look, the position of a judge of the High Court or the Supreme Court is a constitutional position. In other words, a judge is not a government servant. He is not governed by normal service rules. He is governed by the Constitution. Therefore, a judge cannot be tried and dismissed like a government servant after a departmental inquiry. So the law provides that a judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court can only be dismissed by a process of impeachment. And the process of impeachment requires 50 MPs of Rajya Sabha or 100 MPs of Lok Sabha to file a motion seeking impeachment before the Speaker or the Chairman, as the case may be. Once that is done, and I believe it has been done in this case, the motion will have to be admitted by the Speaker or the Chairman, maybe after it, and a debate may take place. And after that, the process has to start by appointing an inquiry committee consisting of 3 members, namely a judge of the Supreme Court, a judge of the High Court, and maybe a jurist. That committee will then act as a disciplinary committee which will examine the judge, which will examine his evidence, which will examine the evidence of the prosecution, so to say. Witnesses will be examined and cross-examined in detail, and a report shall be prepared by that committee. After that report is prepared, it will be sent to the House. The House will debate on the report and take a call.
Yes.
So once the House agrees, then the impeachment shall happen, and if it so happens, the judge shall stand removed from his post. Till that time, the judge will remain a judge of the High Court, even though he is not discharging any functions, as the case may be.
Okay.
And it is that inquiry which will give a chance to the judge concerned to clear his name or to show and prove that he is not guilty of any misdemeanor. That is the...
Okay. Do you back then the unanimous, across party line support given to this motion? Do you believe that is a good precedent, seeing that it has bipartisan support?
So whether it is unanimous or not unanimous, ultimately it will depend on the 3-member inquiry committee and its report.
Right.
Suppose the report says that the man is not guilty, then obviously the impeachment will fail. But let me tell you, not a single judge has been impeached in independent India till today. Some impeachment motions have happened, some judges have resigned, etc., etc. Somewhere the motion didn't work. But I must tell you one more thing. In this case, before the impeachment motion, which is the sole prerogative of Parliament, there is what is called an informal committee, which is appointed by the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice of India has no role in the impeachment. He appoints under a judge's resolution, which has no legal backing, a committee which is supposedly a fact-finding committee.
Yes.
In this case, a committee was so appointed of 3 judges. That committee has given a report and a recommendation that the judge was guilty because he was unable to explain the presence of money in his house. And that report went to the Chief Justice of India. And within a matter of hours, the Chief Justice of India endorsed that report and sent it to the Prime Minister and to other functionaries with his imprimatur saying that action should be taken against the judge, etc. Let me tell you, legally, this informal committee's report has no legal basis, and neither the letter of the Chief Justice written to the Prime Minister
Yes.
has any legal basis, and it can cast no pressure on Parliament because Parliament is sovereign and supreme, and Parliament is guided by its own committee, which I said will now be appointed.
Okay.
So this is what has happened in the last couple of months, which Justice Varma has chosen to challenge by filing a petition
Okay.
in
Okay.
the Honorable Supreme Court of India.
Okay. What precedent then will this possible impeachment set going ahead, Mukul Rohatgi?
Well, if the impeachment goes through, it will show that there is no place for misdemeanors or corruption in the judiciary, and there is no tolerance in that regard. And that is why, just like you dismiss a government servant for corruption,
Yes.
you will dismiss a judge for corruption.
Okay. What then now needs to happen so that the larger perception of India's judiciary system is also not affected?
Look, this process of impeachment is a British hangover. According to me, this is too laborious, too complicated, and too cumbersome. And that is why no impeachments have really happened. There is no gainsaying about corruption in judiciary. There is corruption. There have been instances at various levels.
Yes.
Now, to deal with these corruptions and or issues of misdemeanor or malpractices of some import, there should be a speedier system, less cumbersome, not requiring 2/3 of the majority in Parliament and all that. So that has to be devised. The Constitution may have to be amended
Okay.
so that there is some fear of the law in the concerned quarters, that people are not going to get away. And that should be transparent. And it is to that end that the government of India must work to make a system which is simpler, smoother, and transparent.
All right. Let me also thank you there, Mukul Rohatgi, for joining us on the broadcast.